All right, so today we're going to be jumping into Polygon and whether or not this particular project is going to explode alongside its brethren, Sand. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back to TechPath. Let's jump into it today because Polygon has been making a lot of moves. When you think about not only their NFT moves, their gaming moves, don't forget we had the Polygon NFT gaming guy on our show. Check out that video. You're gonna like it. But their relationship to Sandbox is the one that is most interesting to me and quite possibly the thing that could really take Polygon to the next level during this bull run. I want to jump over to Sandbox and their roadmap. Launch of the first NFT avatar collections, including IP-based, introducing DeFi staking mechanisms on layer 2. That is not live yet. So when this goes live, we are going to see another big move on Sandbox. If you go back and look at Axie Infinity, and when they started staking in comparison to what's happening here on Sandbox, this is going to be another big pop for Sandbox. Now, all of this, of course, relates to Polygon because Sandbox and Polygon now are in the process of a merge in terms of being able to accept transactions over on Polygon, which is the big issue that everybody's facing right now with ETH fees. First play to earn seasons and Explorer season go live. This is, will this actually happen in the beyond what we're seeing right now in the alpha? And then layer 2 dual chain solution, which is MATIC, on full opening of the marketplace for the UCG. So, or UGC, user generated content. This hasn't happened yet. So we're seeing Polygon moving already, even though Sandbox, one of the, what could be one of the largest metaverse plays out there that we will see, is still in the process of getting this all converted over. You continue to look at where Sandbox is going. You've got the mobile version launch in Q4 of 2022. That's a big one. And then here also to be determined in 2022, the game platform, over 1,000 games available. I don't know that we'll get there, but we may get to see several hundred available. This is all Sandbox. Remember, all this is going to be very important because of the transaction layer that you're going to need and Polygon being able to play into this. So it's a very big reason of why MATIC is moving in this direction. We'll talk more about what MATIC is doing in other ways that's going to cause MATIC to really kind of move and why Sandbox just continues to fly on this. Multi-platforms availability of games on consoles. If this comes to reality, that right there, I must say, would be the biggest issue because this means Xbox, Sony PlayStation, etc. Could that happen for Sandbox? And if it does, all right, now we're really in the money because I think at that point Sandbox is at really an all-time, potentially maybe to the level of AAA gaming house studios that are moving in this kind of pack of success. So that'll be a big one to watch right there. And then the other thing is their Vox Edit, major updates with more behavior to make the creation of Vox assets and NFTs easier. This essentially is the builder that creates NFT assets to where you can create your avatars and or your additional tools that you need in the Sandbox, all that big stuff for 2022. Last up, 2023, Vox Edit, continued support, giving creators the best Vox editor available. I think that'll be another scenario as we start to see the evolution of where Sandbox is going, especially around the metaverse in the sense that we're going to, in that game, you'll need to see a lot of interaction with these NFTs and a lot of new, formats, and I think also a lot of new innovation because we have yet to see what's on the real roadmap at Sandbox and all this tying together into Polygon. I think this is going to be an interesting thing to keep our eyes on. So MATIC eyeing a 15% price advance, also because of Uniswap migrating over to Polygon. So you've got Polygon really in kind of a trifecta here with what's happening on one of the largest dexes out there and moving into also the conversion layer for Sandbox and also the NFL with NFTs, which we'll talk about as well. All this is pointing to two big things. MATIC pumping, possibly, we'll show a chart here in a little bit, and also Sandbox coming along for a ride, which I think will be interesting to kind of keep track of. MATIC price rallied 10% over the past 12 hours, suggesting resurgence of the buying pressure. Anticipating a 15% upswing to 1.888 as the bullish scenario continues. And you can kind of see some of the things here. Uniswap saw a proposal on its forum November 20th. This was one that basically was going into the aspect of getting Polygon onto the platform itself. The AMM is built on an Ethereum blockchain and it's plagued with high gas fees, slow transactions, and boom, therefore Polygon proposed to migrate the AMM on its platform to address these issues. Hence, the proposal was, by way of seeking authorization, 7.79 million uni voting yes. So this was a big win to see this level of support for all of what they were doing on Polygon. So I think this is a big one. When you look at DEXs, and I want to jump over just to the DEX side of things, you've got Uniswap, PancakeSwap, Curve, all seeing a 550% growth over the year. This, to give you an example of the DEX growth that we're seeing and why this is important to Polygon, chain analysis report DEXs such as Uniswap, Curve, PancakeSwap, growth of 550%. This is just between August 20 and 21, all right? This is also showing that 845 crypto exchanges, however, the numbers have started to drop to 672 as of this year, many smaller exchanges shutting down. Why is this important? Because the big factor here, as more smaller exchanges start to shut down, we start to see a consolidation in the industry. These DEXs are going to become very important for mainstream crypto investing. Remember, doing a pancake swap, getting a MetaMask wallet, getting a Phantom wallet if you're doing something over on Solana, getting into these DEXs are a little bit more complicated, and the threshold to entry is real. So the more that we see this mainstreaming of centralized exchanges and the decentralized exchanges coming to light, and I think as we see more use case scenarios playing into this, people are going to start to understand what this really means in terms of investing. So back to MATIC here, because this is a pretty big deal. The deal with Uniswap, I think, is huge. The other thing is this one right here, and that is NFL is dabbling now with NFT tickets, collectibles on Polygon. So if this actually comes together, now right now they're using Ticketmaster for it until the Polygon component, and they build out their own NFT marketplace. That'll be, I think, the holy grail for both Polygon and the NFL when this starts to move in that direction. If you look at what they're doing right here, just to give you guys a little bit of an idea, game day just got more exciting. Games this season, you'll be able to buy a ticket and come to the game. You'll gain access to a free virtual commemorative ticket in the form of an NFT, non-fungible. So basically, you buy a ticket. It's going to allow you to go in and mint that ticket into an NFT. And what we have seen early on is some pretty amazing price changes on these. We'll just leave it at that. You guys go do some research on this, because I think you're going to be surprised if you're an NFL, fan. One, it's in the right direction. I'm still thinking Ticketmaster is obviously not the right partner, but it was the partner that they needed to basically interface with, at least right now, until they can get their own marketplace moving. So I think the NFL is going to be moving very quickly in this direction, and guess who's going to be their pocket pal? That's going to be Polygon. So big deal right there. Remember, when we're doing these market movers, main thing here is it's not financial advice. What we're trying to do here is give you guys some data, give you guys some research and some study, and then our own analysis of what things are doing in terms of the market, but not financial advice. I hope that you guys will go out, get your own research done. Hopefully it's just pointing you in the right direction and getting you going on your way to make your day a big one. Back to Sandbox for a second. Here was a video that they did on the Snoop Dogg land sale, just to show you how fast this thing filled up. This particular YouTuber was trying to actually make this happen, and the land sale was absolutely blowing out. So it goes back to this whole scenario of these transactions and the ability and need for something like a Sandbox to really be able to, one, get transaction speed up, and two, keep costs down, which is, I think, going to be the biggest key thing here with being able to blow Polygon out of the water, as well as giving Sandbox an additional boost. Now you've got all of this coming together. You've got Polygon partnering with Sandbox to kind of restructure the architecture for transactions. Then you have Sandbox basically blowing up in terms of development and what their roadmap is going to look like coming soon. All of this is coming to a head, and then you have some other things happening. And the other things that are happening is this one right here. So there's a software company called Unity, which is tied directly into Sandbox. Now, Why is all of this important? So Unity goes out and does an acquisition of a project or company called Weta. It's basically a digital 3D tool. And look at some of the things they're talking about here. So Weta Digital has made some of the most amazing movie and special effects, Lord of the Rings, and now Unity Tech has been bought, or has bought the 3D tools division of Weta for $1.62 billion. The move has a potential to shake up the making of both games and films. So you've got basically the Unreal Engine aspect of this. If you look at the rest of this, the deal could go a long way toward closing the quality between games made with the Unity game engine and its rival Unreal, and it's made by which is made by Fortnite and Epic Games. And then if you look at all of that and you tie that to what's happening in the space of Sandbox and the need for Polygon for transactions, you start to see how all of these kind of come together. And let's go look at Unity software just to see some initial, scenarios here, because I think this one right here is a potential buy. I know you guys are probably not in the stocks as much if you're watching our channel, but we do talk a lot about a lot of technology companies, and Unity is one of those. Now, right now, we see this really kind of falling, and I think really it's because of this all-time high right here. Acquisition occurred just here recently with Weta, so you can kind of see the situation right here. One day ago, Weta's deal comes through, and then a lot of insiders selling a little bit of this stock, mainly I think because of this all-time high right there for what's happening at Unity. But the point is that you've got these three different projects and companies that are really moving in the right direction for what is going to be the new metaverse. One, you need Sandbox for the functionality, the user, the community, and then you need something like what's happening at Unity for being able to really amp up the ability for the whole metaverse to get these new graphics, a lot of new interface capability. So all this is playing into this, and then you need fast transactions and a great financial, partner, and that's going to be a MATIC. So I think all of this tied together in a nice, perfect bow sets up Polygon to really make a run during this altcoin season. I know everybody's been kind of pointing at it, but I feel like it might be a stronger run that everybody has been anticipating for Polygon because of all these deals and all this stuff that's happening in the space. I want to also look at the chart because this is one that we've picked before. The last Polygon video, let me kind of run back here. We did one back in September. Sentiment was 73.92. It had flipped. We anticipated the growth. Sure enough, we got Polygon on that nice run, and from that point of sentiment up to where its high was right there was 114%. Nice move that basically our CPI was able to predict on. Now we're here a little bit further into the cycle, and sentiment was pulled right here on November 18th, and we're currently looking at a growth of right here at another 61%. So it has pulled out a little bit from our typical tracking. So it's definitely overperforming right here. And I think a lot of that gets back to my point that I talk about a lot. And that is that once you start to see news breaking on things, you can get these super vertical moves that will break outside of what our trajectory is usually a little bit more conservative, even though we do cautiously put our points of tracking with both sentiment and amplification over TradingView. Our indices are basically mapping sentiment against what's happening, which drives price action. Remember, sentiment is the core driver of price action outside of what you see in institutional investment. Lots going on there that we can talk about. We can dive into a lot around Polygon and their wallet composition, all those kind of things. But the fact is you got all these deals happening, all of this happening in time for the metaverse, then the software Unity element that really starts to play into it. Unity, great name for that whole marriage there. But then you have, of course, the timing of the market, which really starts to put things at what I think are going to be very, very interesting for MATIC. So right now, by end of December, we're still pointing upwards. We could see a high in here of around $3.75. A lot of people pointing in that direction. But on the low side, probably around 260, but it is trading right now at 224, which had its nice little pop, and then a little bit of adjustment right here, which is right here in this little window right here, because we anticipated a little bit of a correction, and it may or may not see that kind of guiding back in. But the good thing is that we're seeing this as an uptrend for Polygon. And again, all this plays into the Sandbox and where the future of these two companies are on really a collision course, I think, for what's going to happen in the metaverse. All right. So you guys are listening in over on the podcast right now. Best thing to do is subscribe, but really the best thing to do is jump over here to the YouTube channel, because you're going to get a chance to see not only our charting and really understand our methodology of how we put research in, how we go in and look at sentiment and amplification data, what we see in terms of some of the measurements that we look at to record and be able to assess on a project. All that happens right here on YouTube. Easy to do. Just search Paul Barron Network. You'll find us. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure and hit the bell, because you're going to get notifications of our live streams, all that kind of good stuff. And you're going to get a link that you can join the Diamond Circle. Diamond Circle is very simple to join and easy to get to. But if you want some of our drops on additional analysis and additional reports and information on how-to guides, etc., all that comes to you in the Diamond Circle for free. And of course, you guys can join that. Just jump right in anytime. If you want to reach me, hit me up on Twitter, @Paul Barron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechBath.